Would you like to meet the oldest living creature at Willow Haven Farm? I'm Tessa, the farmer's wife here at Willow Haven Farm in New Tripoli, PA. So stick around to the end of the video and you'll get to meet this elder of the farm. But for now, I want to teach you a little bit about the way we farm organic vegetables by taking care of our fields. I'm standing in one of last year's vegetable fields, which we'll reuse again this year, but we planted it last fall with spring wheat and another mix of this gorgeous grass that you can see. And what we do next is we till that in. We don't harvest it for grain, but all of that green organic matter goes back into the soil and decomposes. So this field is one where that has already happened. The green matter has gone into the soil, and we even have more green stuff, some weeds growing up in here. So then we're going to take our tractor and come through with another implement that will smooth out the soil into a nice bed. You can maybe see some of the lines here that we'll use as a guide. And you can see some of our farming practices here. We're using black plastic as a weed barrier, because we need to maximize our time here as organic farmers, and so we don't have time to weed every single thing that grows next to the plant, so we're going to use this as a barrier. But our commitment to organic farming means that we have to pull this up at the end of the planting season every year. We're also using drip irrigation, so you'll see here the lines are laid and they'll be hooked into this blue tube, and the water comes down and it goes under here to drip next to each one of the plants. We're getting here to the plants that we've just planted this week. We've got some collards and cabbage growing all the way down these 600-foot rows. That's greens for hundreds of families this spring and summer. These right now, it's the end of April, and we hope to be harvesting these as the warm sun helps them to grow into May. Now here you see that we're using row covers. This is a light fabric that we use instead of chemicals to keep insects from demolishing and devouring our wonderful vegetables. So these plants will grow underneath them, but they can get the light from the sun, and it's permeable, so the rain can come through and keep everything moist. Here we've got kale growing, and all this was planted just this week in this field. We grew these from organic seed in our greenhouses in organic potting soil mix. So we've been tending these plants for weeks and months until the weather was perfect and the size was right to put them out here in the field. So you can see that we're even using this row cover from previous years. This one has a hole in it, so it takes a little bit of a beating, and we try to reuse as much as we can. And we really have to make sure that we put soil on the edges of this, because the wind comes off of this west field and will billow up it will catch this material and it'll billow up, and you'll see this undulating wave when we've got a breeze, which is kind of nice to see, but it causes a lot of work if we don't keep it down to the soil, and we have to come back here and put it all back down after it's floating off into the air. Now look at this gorgeous red lettuce. We've got this great colors, and that's one of the nice things about growing organic vegetables, is that you can grow varieties that you don't see in the grocery store, and they always have such a fresh flavor, and we're not putting chemicals on it, so you can eat it. And my kids do. They come out and snack in the field, and you can get your nutrition straight from real growing plants from an organic farm. So So when we harvest these in a few weeks, they're gonna get cooled off, put in our cooler and into your box the same day or the next day, and you're getting the freshest vegetables that you can get, really, by supporting your local farmer here at Willow Haven Farm. Now, I don't want to disappoint you, so here we're going to meet the oldest living creature at Willow Haven Farm, and you might not be surprised, if you know much about living creatures, find out that it's a tree. So this here is a sassafrass tree. It's a native wild tree to Pennsylvania. In fact, my dad told me when I asked that it was it's a volunteer, which means that no one planted it. My grandfather, who actually worked in the CCCs back in the day, planted a lot of trees and loved planting trees on the farm, but he did not plant this. This grew wild on its own. And I knew that it was a plant that was used medicinally, and I knew that it was sometimes used as flavoring for root beer or sarsaparilla tea. But what I didn't know until I looked it up today was that almost every part of the tree can be used for various parts medicinally. It's very fragrant, so I'm gonna smell the sweet, these are leaf buds here. And this is the tree here. And then the bark is used, the roots are used, but interestingly, and many of you farm members who have a little bit of a clue of our food system will understand what I'm talking about. Interestingly, there was a study done on sarfole, which is part of the sassafras tree. It was given in high doses to rats, and lo and behold, they found out that it was carcinogenic to rats and may cause liver damage. So the FDA banned it, so it's no longer a natural ingredient that can be used for flavoring. And so instead, root beers and all those other things are using synthetic flavorings, and we're missing out on all the medicinal properties because of this bad press that the sassafras tree has. Maybe we should get back to a little bit more of nature and herbal medicine, and start working on the rheumatism. This was used for measles and scarlet fever and those things that now we use vaccines for. Even treated diarrhea. I was amazed at all of the things that this tree has been used for in the past. So I want to share that information with you, give you an idea of what the future could be like for you and your family if you eat more naturally, more organically, and you support your local farmer. And what I want you to do is come to our farm store on Saturday, 9 to 3. You can meet the eldest member of Willow Haven Farm as you drive up to our beautiful farm here. And we'd love to show you the organic vegetables and all the organic food that we can provide for you. And maybe you'll even sign up for a market box and get it delivered to your home all year round. So check us out. You can get directions at willowhavenfarmpa.com/directions. We'll see you later. Bye.